As we mentioned, investigators are just beginning to get an idea of the shooter's motive. Jeff Pegues has the latest on the investigation.
CBS News has learned that Stephen Paddock recently purchased some of the 49 rifles, guns, and thousands of rounds of ammunition found in his hotel room in 2 residences. But investigators still have not determined why he chose to target the country music festival.
Oh my God!
They are also looking into whether Paddock initially had a different target. A source briefed on the police investigation said he tried to get a hotel room near a music festival featuring Chance the Rapper and Lorde a week earlier, but the specific suites he requested weren't available.
Something happened that drove him into the pit of hell.
Today in Florida, Paddock's brother Eric was still trying to make sense of what happened.
Steve was a highly intelligent, highly successful person. He could have done anything he wanted to do. And he did. He made himself wealthy. He made us wealthy.
A former accountant, Paddock once worked for the Postal Service and as an IRS agent. In recent years, he spent his time gambling. Leading up to the shooting, Paddock transferred tens of thousands of dollars, some of it overseas to the Philippines, where his girlfriend is believed to be now. Mary Lou Danley is considered a person of interest in the investigation, and it's unclear when she plans to return to the United States. Eric Paddock described his brother as quirky and narcissistic.
My heart is torn, is destroyed for all these people. But I can't tell you why Steve did what he did. It's so far for the side of the cliff from Steve that I knew.
The Las Vegas sheriff says the weapons recovered are being sent to FBI labs. Agents have been working to document the still active crime scenes inside the Mandalay Bay Hotel and at the concert venue. Elaine.
Well, Jeff, investigators have so little information about the gunman at this point. How does Stephen Paddock transferring money to the Philippines factor into investigators' search for a motive? And does it bring his girlfriend's role back into question?
Well, to your first question, yeah, I mean, this transfer of money says something to investigators, and what it says is that this is someone who is planning something. Now, the question remains is what exactly was he planning? Was it this event, this mass shooting that we saw unfold on Sunday night? Is that why he transferred this money? But what it says to investigators is this was something that was premeditated, and you saw the sheriff today and the latest press conference say that. You know, this was something that was pre-planned, and he said essentially that the killer was pretty meticulous in making the plans that he did. And so, yes, that transfer of money, that means something to investigators, which could lead to the girlfriend who is in the Philippines. Did she know something about what he was planning? Does she have some specifics about that planning that she can share with investigators right now? Investigators say that they've had conversations with her, but the question is, have they had extensive conversations with her? And obviously they haven't. They still have information they need to get from her, and that's why right now they are calling her a person of interest.
And, Jeff, what about the fact that the shooter recently bought more weapons to add to his stockpile already made up of dozens of guns? Does that tell authorities anything?
Yeah, this is all part of the bigger picture here. They are, you know, as I've been saying repeatedly over the last 24 hours, they've been trying to put together all of these different pieces of this puzzle. They're getting information from people who knew him, his neighbors who saw him daily. They've interviewed his brother Eric that you saw in my report. So they're putting together all these pieces. Oh, and by the way, the digital fingerprints as well. What was on his electronic devices. They have those as well. They're examining those. So they're putting together all these pieces of information and the weapons purchases. And by figuring out when he was purchasing these weapons, again, that fits into a timeline here leading up to the attack. And all of that is a valuable picture that is developing here for investigators.
And, Jeff, finally, what information do investigators have about a potential earlier attack that the shooter had apparently planned at another concert in Las Vegas?
Yeah, well, we got a flurry of information today, new information that obviously investigators are working with to figure out the motive here. And the fact that they think that he may have been planning an earlier attack, something about a week earlier, focusing on this event with Chance the Rapper and Lord, it just shows that he had some sort of fixation on concert venues for some reason, or concerts for some reason. And that is what's really a mystery here. In addition to some of the other questions, why was he focused on these music venues? And so perhaps in the next 48 hours, that is the new information that we will get that will sort of enlighten this investigation and those of us who are following it, but we'll have to see.
All right, Jeff Pegues in Washington for us. Jeff, thank you.